Hi, welcome back to Life with Lou. I hope you're all doing really well. Today I thought I would take you through some of the favourite things that I've been using through the month of July. So I thought I would share some of my favourite books, some of my favourite beauty treatments, some things that I've enjoyed eating, and just other bits and bobs that I've really enjoyed using through July and I thought you might like to hear about. So let's start with books that I've been reading through the month of July. And I'm a real lover of books and I like different genres. I like to mix it up. I like sci-fi, I love dystopian novels, I love historical novels. I tend to stick more on the fiction side. I definitely love the kind of Harry Potter genre style books, and anything that just is a little bit different and that just allows me to completely escape. And so there are two books that I've been reading in July and they're both very different. So the first book I wanted to talk about is by a lady called Hannah Kaner and it's called God Killer. And I was really attracted to I know you should never judge a book by its cover, but I was really attracted to the cover of this book and I knew immediately that this was going to be in the fantasy space and it was going to be something that I'd really enjoy. And so I'm going to read the back of the book and then I'll tell you about my thoughts around it. So it starts with, "You are not welcome here, God Killer. As a child, Kissen saw her family murdered by a god. Now gods are forbidden, but they still wander the kingdom demanding worship and sacrifice. Kissen makes a living killing them and she enjoys it. Until she meets a god she cannot kill, Skedi, the god of white lies. His soul has been bonded to a young noble girl and Kissen can't kill him without ending the girl's life. Kissen reluctantly agrees to travel to the ruined city of Blenraden to demand aid from the last wild gods. But the city of gods is no place for a god killer." I was totally intrigued by this book and a little unsure, but I was like, I'm going to give it a go. And I really enjoyed it. Now, what I would say is it's heavily descriptive. And so it requires quite a lot of concentration. You are transported into a new world that feels like it's something set back in the olden times, not dissimilar to the worlds that you might see, for example, in The Hobbit or A Lord of the Rings, or some of those fantasy novels that take you back to an age that was simpler. This has a similar feel. And it's a really interesting book because it covers off so many topics. There's the topic of feelings and emotions. There is the topic of love. There is that sense of, this is who I am, but is it really who I am? Because now my feelings are changing. There's adventure, there's fighting, there's romance. And actually Kissen's kind of view of looking after this young girl and the relationship that they form over the course of the book is really beautiful. So I really enjoyed this book. It was a heavier read than I thought, and I'm not so good with fighting scenes. So it's beautifully descriptive and it really transports you to another world. And so really enjoyed just reading something very different. I have to confess, normally I read very quickly. This book did take me some time. I took it on several camper van trips, and if you haven't seen our vlogs on camper vanning, definitely check them out. And then I finally just really got into it so much that I then just absorbed and finished it within 3 days. But a really good book. My understanding is it's going to be a trilogy. I think it says in the back of the book that the next book in the series is called Sunbringer, and the war is coming. Now, will I read the second one? I'm not very good with war stories. They grab me less, so I'm not sure. But because the characters are so compelling in it, and there's, as I mentioned, a little love story, that might draw me in. So I will look out for the second in the series of this, and then I'll make a call. But but something really different. So if you like that kind of sci-fi fantasy world where you're transported somewhere and there's slight magic in the air, it did really remind me of another set of books as well. So it did remind me of another set of books as well, which has also been televised into a series by Philip Pullman, and The Book of Dust. Now, interestingly, this is about you having almost part of your soul being attached to you as an animal. And these books are great. And the BBC did a version of the Philip Pullman series, and it was really, really compelling. And I think there may also have been a film version as well with Nicole Kidman in it. And the premise of you having this kind of external animal attached to you is very, very similar to this, because effectively this god has attached itself to this young, wealthy, aristocratic girl called Inara. And he can't be killed because it would kill Inara too. And that's Kissin's biggest challenge. So would really recommend, if you're looking for something different and you like this type of book, or as I say, you like the Tolkien world, you like Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, or you like that kind of magic or fantasy world, this might be a book for you. So the next book is completely different, and it's the most recent version in the Richard Osman series of books around the Thursday Murder Club. And this one is called The Last Devil to Die. These books are so brilliantly written that there isn't one page of reading where I'm not laughing out loud. And I love that about a book. So whilst I think the first book I was talking about transports you because you're transported into a different world, this just takes the edge off your day. If you're having a stressful day and you just want some escapism and you want something that's humorous and witty and light, but very intellectually written, these are the books for you. It's an amazing series. They've just announced that they're going to start a film version of the books, and I'm not surprised because the concept is brilliant. So effectively it is a group of friends who live in a retirement village who have an incredible set of skills, and they group together and effectively help police solve murders. What's not to love? But the books are done in a very witty, very quick-witted and dry way. It's very dry humour that is laugh out loud funny. And I love these books, particularly if I've had a bit of a stressful day. It's just a nice bit of escapism. So would really recommend these books as well. At the moment, there are 4 in the series. So there's the Thursday Murder Club, there's The Man Who Died Twice, there's The Bullet That Missed, and then there's this one, The Last Devil to Die. And I think that Richard Osman is on to writing the 5th book in the series. But I bought this in the works a couple of weeks back, and I want to say it was £5. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So they're my 2 book recommendations for this month. Other things that I've been loving. So you guys know that Tom and I, well, if you follow our vlogs, you will have seen that we love to play games. And we actually went to Center Parcs and forgot to take our games with us. And we ended up buying some new games. And one of those games was Uno Flip. If you have ever played the traditional game of Uno, and if you haven't, where have you been? Then Uno Flip is a slightly different version where effectively you can flip the cards halfway through the game and you play with the numbers on the back. We've really enjoyed this, and this has just been through July because where has summer been? When we're waiting for dinner to cook, or we're sat here after dinner, we might just have a couple of quick games of this. And it's a fast-paced game. It doesn't go on forever. It's really easy to understand. I think it's great for kids and adults, to be honest. We've taken it on camping trips. We've taken it in our camper van. We obviously played it in Center Parcs, and it just sits near the dining table at home because actually, if you just want something to do that isn't watching TV or playing on your phone, you just want something that just gives you a bit of escapism for a bit, this is a really good game. Don't think it's expensive. I think we bought this for £7.99. Easy to get on Amazon, but I've really enjoyed playing that. So if you're looking for something to take with you on your summer holidays, that's an easy card game and really light and easy to pack. This is a good one. Okay, next on to some beauty products. So I am 42 and I am definitely going very grey, and you might see that in my vlogs from time to time. I can't always be bothered to cover up my roots, and it is a constant battle. So I have my hair dyed every 5 weeks, which is eye-wateringly expensive, but I am incredibly grey for my age. I got it from my dad. My dad turned grey in his late teens. And I was the same. I started going grey in my teens as well, and he was fully grey by the time he was 30. So you can imagine that my hair's pretty grey. And with that, I have, because I dye it so often, I get quite dry hair. Sometimes it becomes really discoloured, and sometimes my scalp gets itchy because of the amount of dye that I'm using. And my hairdresser introduced me to a really lovely brand by a lady called Maria Nilla, and it's a brand from Stockholm, and she started to sell this in her salon, but you can get this anywhere, and I've started to see it really heavily advertised on Instagram as well. But it's really nourishing, lovely hair care, and it smells amazing. So I use the Soothing range, and it's vegan friendly, it's animal friendly, which is incredibly important to me. This particular one deals with hair growth and also dandruff relief. It's got a Colour Guard complex in there if you're having your hair dyed. And it really is a very nice product, and as I said, it smells absolutely amazing. So if you're looking for a new hair care brand and looking for something different, I'd really recommend Maria Nilla. And basically, dependent on your hair needs, they've got about 5 or 6 different styles of shampoos and conditioners to help you. But if you're somebody that suffers with dry scalp, dry hair, I have a really strange thing that I get very greasy roots, but the ends get really dry. And that's probably to do with the balance in my pH level, maybe, because I'm naturally oily skinned as well. But I'd really recommend this brand. It's been a game changer for my hair. My hair always feels lovely after using it. So that's one of my beauty things. The other things I've had is, one of the things I've been reading up on is when you hit a certain age, i.e. over 40, and you're in that perimenopausal phase, your skin can change. And I have always had fairly clear skin. It's always been oily, and I am prone to small breakouts. But what I found is in the last couple of years that my skin has continued to get worse. And I am now on a medicated cream to support some of my breakouts as well. But one of the things that I've been using since July and have really loved is the Clinique Anti-Blemish Solutions range. And I absolutely love this oil control cleansing mask. If ever I feel like I'm gonna get breakouts, and they tend to be kind of around my neck and my chin area, this is often your emotional hormonal area as well. These really help to dry them out and get them cleared quickly. So I've started to add this into my regime once a week, just to kind of help keep spots at bay. But I might do like a whole chat to camera around perimenopausal things that I'm noticing, because we're terrible as women about talking about these things, and it's almost like there's an embarrassment around it, but it's just the facts. We're just changing, and me and my girlfriends have started to be really open about what that's meant for us, whether it's that we're starting to have slight hot flushes, whether it's like me, I've got skin breakouts, I've definitely seen hair loss. There's like a whole host of things that we go through as women, and we're not great at talking about. But if you are struggling with adult acne in any way, this Clinique range that's called Anti-Blemish is brilliant. And they have a moisturizer, they have a serum, they have a face wash, they have a toner, they've got the mask, And they also have a foundation in the range as well, which I have to say is absolutely brilliant. If you don't want really heavy foundation, I like to keep my skin fairly clear. I don't like it feeling cakey or heavy. It's really good for that. So that's my next beauty one, Anti-Blemish Solution by Clinique. Some other things that I've been loving through the summer is I'm a big fan of By Terry makeup products. I love their CC serums. I definitely got sold that in by watching Lydia Elise Millen. It's a beautiful product that's really lightweight on the skin and just gives your skin a little bit of a glowy kick, if you will. And I also love their blusher palette, and I go through at least 3 of those a year. The other thing that I've been trying out is their eyeshadow ranges. And these are super pretty. So this is a really neutral palette of shades, but this is a really pretty range, and it's neutral enough that you can wear it day to day, but if you want to make a more dramatic look, it's really easy to do that with the dark colours in the palette. So love that, would recommend that. The other thing that I've been loving is, in the summer months in particular, I tend not to wear lipstick because it's so heavy on the lips. And if you ever get to the point where you're in the sun, it can make them feel really dried out. But I've been totally obsessed with the Fresh Lip Treatment Balms. Like that. This one I adore, and it's the berry flavour. Berry flavour. It's the berry colour. I'm trying to work out if it tastes of anything. It does taste quite sweet actually. But they do these in about 5 or 6 colours, and I've got 3 of the colours. I've got coral, I've got this berry colour, and then I've got a light pink. And they are the perfect solution for me. They give a very light touch of colour to the lips so that you feel you've got something on. They're treating your lips at the same time, so your lips are super soft and nourished, and they don't feel as heavy as a lipstick. So if you're looking for that in-between product that's got a bit of colour, it's effectively a coloured lip balm, but these ones are absolutely gorgeous. And I think that the Fresh products in general are lovely. I've had really nice shower gels and body creams from them as well. They're not cheap, but they last a really long time. Like my last one, I think lasted about 4 or 5 months. So now I've got a couple of colorways. They're definitely going to last me way into next year, but they're really nice. And my final beauty product that I've been absolutely loving and using a lot recently is I've been wearing much lighter weight tinted moisturizers on the skin, and just trying to keep my foundation light, partly because I've had lots of skin breakouts, but also just in the summer months, I just don't want that feeling of heaviness on the skin. But I also like quite a dewy finish, which is controversial as somebody who has oily skin, that you'd want to add more sheen. I don't want sheen here, but I do like a little flush on my cheeks and my nose. And I've been using the Merit stick for that. It's a really nice shade. And I don't know if it'll pick it up on camera, but yeah, it will. It's just here. It's a really nice shade. And it basically has just kind of given a nice sheen to the skin, a nice healthy sheen. And I think when you're in that spring summer moment, having a little bit of a shimmer on the cheeks and the nose is just a really nice thing to make your face look fresh and dewy. So this is Merit, and it's in the colour Carver Day Glow. Absolutely love it. You can buy that online. There was a huge push on Merit last year, and I've dabbled with some of their products. Some of their products are great, some not so great, but this particular product is brilliant. I love it. So that concludes beauty products. And then finally, I wanted to talk about a food product. So Tom and I have been on a really big health kick since the start of the year. I've lost 1.5 stone, and Tom has lost about 1 stone and a bit as well. And we have had some ups and downs. We were on a journey. I was nearly at 2 stone, and then I put some weight back on. Welcome to the world of living, going out, drinking, eating out, having a nice time. But one of the things that we really wanted to kind of introduce into our world was, we've always loved coffee. I love a flavoured coffee. I like a drizzle of like something sweet on my fruit, and honey is just so full of sugars. But we have found a range that we've become totally obsessed with called Sweet Freedom. And we buy directly with them, but you can get this in Sainsbury's and Waitrose. It's just that you won't get the full range. And they have a whole host of products in this range. I am obsessed with the caramel syrup. It's really good in coffees, but they also do barista syrups, and we have those as well. And they do a vanilla, a hazelnut, and a salted caramel. They also do a chocolate pot, which is their version of Nutella, which is a fraction of the calories. I think it's 13 calories a teaspoon. And then they also do these drizzles, and you can use these in coffee, you can put them on pancakes, you can put them on fruit. But if you're looking for something that's much lower in calories but still has a really nice sweet taste, and most importantly does not have an artificial taste, and I think you probably know what I mean, like that fake sweet taste, these don't have this. They've got a really delicate flavour. We are obsessed with these, and they're really, really quick. If you order them directly with them, if you order directly with them on their website, they deliver really quickly. I think I delivered last week on a Monday and I had it all by the Wednesday. So it's super quick. And it's natural fruit as well. So whilst I know at some point we probably all need to get off the sugar high, just having a touch of sweetness makes such a difference. It's they do a raspberry syrup, which is super lovely with strawberries and raspberries, and I often will do like a big fruit salad, put loads of that syrup on, and it just makes a real difference to your pudding. So yes, that's my final love of July, is Sweet Freedom. So hope you've enjoyed this session today where I've talked about my July favourites. I'm going to do this once a month and talk about the books I'm reading, things that I'm loving, and it could be anything. It could be games, it could be beauty, it could be home stuff. And yeah, we'll just share some of the things that we're loving through the month. But I hope you all have a brilliant week, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. And if you've liked this video, love it if you could give us a like and also subscribe to the channel. I know at the moment that 84% of the people that are regularly watching my videos aren't subscribed, and I'd love for you to be, because it would mean the world of difference if we could start to grow the channel out. But it's a pleasure to speak to you, and I'll see you soon. Have a great one.